afternoon, Roller Derby world. I'm Biff Mixlot. I'm joined by Mr. Whistler. We want to give a little shout out to New England Roller Derby Report. Would like to thank their production sponsor, Sociopath. Sociopath is a skater-run business offering custom sewn-to-order leg wear for teams and individuals. Size-inclusive activewear designed to fit you. Sociopath also offers dozens of armband and helmet cover options for scrimmage and competition. Team discounts are available. Please see sociopath.ca for more details. So welcome along to La Classique Georgia W Tush 2019. We've got the number 2 ranked in the WFTDA Victorian Roller Derby League All-Stars taking on arch-rival Roller Derby's arch-rival All-Stars. They are ranked number 4 in the WFTDA as of May 31st. So, Mr. Whistler, do we want to go through the rosters before we get started here?
I think we should do that.
Yeah,
yes.
That would be helpful. Yeah.
Yes, good afternoon, people here on the East Coast in North America. Good morning to our friends who may be watching from Melbourne, and good day wherever you may be. We are going to see, as you said, the VRDL All-Stars from Melbourne, Australia, currently ranked number 2 in the WFTDA. They will be wearing blue for this game. Their roster reads as number 10, Bisexual, number 11, Sarah Love, 130, Jesse Henry, number 20 is the captain, Lorridge, 2806, Danny Darko, 32, Jambi, number 4, Slamazon, 4000 is Anna Pabuova, 46, Steel Thunder, number 6, Walker, number 66, Lauren Foote, 83 is Curly Burley, number 85, Bianca Sharetta, and number 9, Lethal. Contingent on the bench for VRDL, led by Simon Love, who is wearing the A for the All-Stars.
Okay, we'll go through arch-rival, the arch-rival All-Stars. Number 1057, Shira Powers. 121, Smarty McFly. 14, Loki Doki. Number 15, Bolt Action. 1853, Vicious Van Gogh. 1900, Cloak and Dragger. 23, Thestral. 4, Jedi Nightingale. 48, Bricktator. 500, Ace. 567, Splatter. 618, Cruella Belleville. 68, Swanson. 718, Lux Furious. And number 810, Kay Woodward.
We still have some time before the game. We've got just over 2 minutes before first whistle. So also an opportunity to go through the officiating roster for this game. Biff, you want to give us our non-skating officials?
And the non-skating official side, we have Aggie Battery, Matante, Bert Hurt, Taboma, Locomotive, Derryhare, Chucky D, Terra D Nightmare, and Tim Refuse.
And on the skating officials side, we have Feminist Killjoy, Righteous Oxide, Carmen Dragon, Jean-Philippe Aman, Wonder Zebra, Empower Shanksy, and Dr. Math, comprising the skating officials for this game. This is the second game of the weekend for VRDL. In the weekend opener last night here at Arena St. Louis, taking on Helsinki and coming away with a 293-93 200-point victory were the VRDL All-Stars. This is the first game of the weekend for arch-rival.
Very, very comfortable game for Victoria to start the tournament off. This is Arch's first game of the tournament. So we're about a minute away from beginning action.
And by gosh, this is one of my favorite roller derby events of the calendar. It's only the second time, of course, that this particular tournament's been happening. And I mean, any opportunity, though, you can get to Montreal to experience a Montreal Roller Derby hosted event, I think you should. We'll be talking a little bit later about a certain thing called championships that is happening in this city in November.
And it is going to be, as the kids say, off the chain, I think. So we're the pregame exchange of pleasantries among the skaters. We are 18 seconds away. Victoria sending multiple jammers to the line.
and blockers to the start box. Sarah Love, though, number 11, wearing the star for VRDL in this one. And Bricktator with the star for arch rival, picking up lead. First lead jammer of the game going to the team from St. Louis.
Sarah Love exits the pack in hot pursuit. LaRage already headed to the Restaurant Gus penalty box. I think she picked up a direction to gameplay penalty. Bricktator into the pack, calls the jam. 2 points, 3 points, excuse me. The first 3 points on the board going to arch rival. And we see there right at the end, Bricktator taking a shot there from Jesse Henry, ending the jam 3-0 to arch rival.
Arch rival taking up a lot of space in the start box as they reset now all the way back to the jammer line.
So we've got Jambi jamming for Victoria against Swanson, number 68 of St. Louis. Very tightly knit pack between the jammer and pivot lines as we start. Jambi thought she had a path out, not quite.
No, Cloak and Dragger shutting the door. Now a forearm penalty being issued to Jambi. No lead awarded yet, but power jam for arch rival.
Swanson going face to face with number 10. That is biceptual. Biceptual drags her back. Her path is interrupted. And Swanson up, out, has completed her initial pass, not lead jammer. Penalty to LaRage has expired. Swanson into the pack, first scoring pass on the power jam for arch rival. Swanson meeting the three-pronged fidget spinner of doom at the front of the pack for Victoria.
Now arch rival largely hanging back here, waiting for Jambi to re-enter from the Restaurant Gus penalty box as she does. LaRage re-entering the Restaurant Gus penalty box, so a 4-3 pack advantage currently for arch rival.
2 penalties in the first 2 jams for LaRage. But Swanson emerges. 4 points for arch rival. This jam will go 2 full minutes. Neither jammer with lead status. Swanson entering the pack, second scoring pass.
Swanson,
Jambi star in hand.
Swanson almost saw that spot on the inside line, but the door gets shut very quickly.
And the jam will time out. 4 additional points for St. Louis. So an 8-point jam, very good start on this game for arch rival.
Yeah, having a look at the replay here, the initial takeout and then the drag back. But Swanson able to recover. It was also a nice heads-up move by Swanson at the tail end of that jam, knowing she had picked up the 4 available points, and rather than re-engage in the dying seconds of the jam, possibly risk a penalty, just lets that clock run out.
And Loki Doki wearing the jammer star for arch rival, jamming against Anna Pavuova of Victoria. Jam is underway. Loki Doki around Danny Darko. She is met by number 9, that is Lethal. And Loki Doki through and lead jammer for arch rival. Anna Pavuova, hot pursuit. Pack speeds up into turns 3 and 4.
Victoria definitely driving the bus here, running the pace, getting a draft at trackside from the speed here. And Loki Doki's going to call the jam. No points for either side, a couple of donuts in the air. Score is going to remain 11 for arch rival. No points yet for VRDL. Almost 5 minutes gone in the opening half.
So we had a roller derby game and a speed meet broke out there in that jam. So jam number 4. Jedi Nightingale jamming against Lauren Foote of Victoria. 4th jammer we've seen so far for arch rival. Lauren Foote gets bounced out by number 810, Kay Woodward.
Long recycle by Cloak and Dragger as well.
And out, not lead jammer, is number 4, Jedi Nightingale. The force was with her at that moment. Lauren Foote gets lead, immediately calls the jam, and she is able, only 1 point on the scoreboard for arch rival. So very, very good presence of mind there by Lauren Foote. Once she earned lead, saw that Jedi Nightingale is rapidly approaching the pack.
Teams maintaining their jammer rotation in the short term as we see Bricktator and Sarah Love with stars on their helmets on the jammer line. 12-0 arch rival lead.
Blockers entangled at the front of the pack. Bricktator making the most forward progress.
Seeing Vicious Van Gogh for arch rival and Lethal for VRDL, both bridging, keeping both of these groups of skaters in play.
And Bricktator drawn all the way back to turn 4. Sarah Love out of the pack first and is lead jammer for Victoria. Sarah Love met by a three-pronged attack of arch rival blockers. And Sarah Love escapes there, clutches to pick up 4 points, the first of the game for Victoria. One blocker each for each side in the Restaurant Gus penalty box as we speak. Sarah Love through the pack again. Seconds, 4 points, scoring pass, that's 8 for Victoria.
Relentless knockouts and drawbacks here coming from VRDL as they keep taking Bricktator back through the infield. Bricktator now getting a nice push there from Shira Powers to break free from the pack. Sarah Love, though, is going to keep running. We've already able to tie the score. Calling the pack up to join, now calls the jam. So that 12-0 jam ties it up at an even dozen apiece.
Whole new game right now. And since we're talking about the number 2 and number 4 ranked teams in the WFTDA, I don't expect it to get out of hand.
I think if things did get out of hand, Biff, it would be an earth-shattering moment.
Yes, it would. So 12-12. We have an unsponsored tie game. Jambi, the jammer for Victoria, against Swanson of arch rival. Swanson making the most forward progress. Nice block there by Kay Woodward, trying to break up the Victoria pack. And a power jam, a penalty to Jambi.
That track cut forced on Jambi. So Swanson with the power jam. Believe lead still available. It's awarded.
So Swanson on the power jam. Took a few seconds for that to happen, so we'll see how much time arch rival has left. Arch with a 4-on-2 pack advantage at the moment.
Yeah, penalty box full for Victoria at the moment.
Swanson is through, breaking the tie. That's 4 points for Arch.
Simazana and Bianca Sharetta, the only blockers on the track for this pass.
And we have Bianca Sharetta picking up a track cut penalty. She is headed to the Restaurant Gus penalty box. 4 more points for Swanson.
Multiplayer penalty going to send Cloak and Dragger to the Restaurant Gus penalty box. So lots of activity in the seats in the box at the moment.
A lot of blocker penalties for Victoria this jam. And, Arch successfully able to goat a blocker at the back of the pack. So an 8-0 run on the power jam for Arch rival. They take the lead now 20-12.
Yeah, so able to counter the 12 points picked up on the previous jam by Victoria. Another look there at a pass from Swanson on the previous jam. We had Loki Doki on the jammer line for arch rival.
Against
Anna
Paviova. And she gets plowed to the outside into the ref lane. And recycled, drawn back once again by Kay Woodward. Anna Paviova recycled once again now to the inside.
Kay Woodward taking Anna Paviova to the line, but not over it.
And Anna Paviova finally earns lead.
A well-earned lead pickup.
Loki Doki still stuck in the pack at the front. She'll get an assist there from number 105.7, Shira Powers. And Anna Paviova on a scoring pass. Loki Doki escapes. And Anna Paviova will call the jam. She picks up 3 for Victoria. That will narrow the lead to 20-15, still in favor of arch rival. 19:07 remaining in the first period.
Yeah, on that final pass, we saw Victoria switching to strict offense, knowing that it was only going to be the initial pass for Loki Doki and focusing on getting as many points as possible. Picked up 3 of the 4. The score is 20 for arch rival, 15 for Victoria. Just under 19 minutes left in the opening half.
So we've got Jedi Nightingale, the jammer for Arch, and Lauren Foote, the jammer for Victoria. Lauren Foote, lead jammer. She is met by a 4-wall of arch rival blockers. Jedi Nightingale using the force to escape the pack. She's picked up 4 despite Lauren Foote having lead. And Lauren Foote still stuck at the back of the pack. Jedi Nightingale, a second scoring pass for arch rival.
The lateral movement right now very strong from arch rival, making things very difficult for Lauren Foote. Lauren Foote getting tangled up with Slamazon as both are taken down at turn 3.
You know, Kay Woodward has been putting in a ton of work so far this game. She has been out nearly every jam, covering the Victorian jammers like so much Provel cheese on a pizza. Jedi Nightingale drawn to the back by Biceptual. And pack is locked up, turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, Jedi Nightingale rather, looking for some spaces stuck behind Bianca Sciaretta.
And a power jam now for Arch Rival. Oh, no, excuse me, that was not a power jam. Sorry, that was the pivot for Victoria going to the penalty box, number 4. She picked up a track cut, that was Slamazon. So jam continues, Lauren Foote with lead. But Jedi Nightingale with at least 4 points in hand for arch rival.
It's that tandem of Biceptual and Bianca Sciaretta at the back, taking up a lot of space, covering at least 3 of the available lanes on the floor.
And Lauren Foote able to pick up 4 points for Victoria. A 4-4 jam. So score stands now 24-19, still in favor of arch rival.
And just over 16 minutes left in the opening half of this game.
Scores adjusted, it was an 8-4 jam in favor of arch rival, 28-19 now.
Thank you to our producer Bobby Narco for pointing out that information.
Jambi jamming against Bricktator. Bricktator. And she's held up just long enough by the Victoria pack for Jambi to be lead jammer.
Jammers are neck and neck. Pack picks up the pace, about half a lap to make up.
And discretion being the better part of valor, Jambi calls the jam 0-0 for each team.
Yeah, Victoria on a bit of a run right now. They're starting to control the pace a bit heavier. They've picked up 5 out of the last 6 lead jammer statuses, getting all of their points in 4 of these previous 6 jams.
So Sarah Love, the jammer for Victoria. Swanson jamming for arch rival. And Sarah Love is out first, lead jammer for Victoria.
Yeah, it's number 6, Walker, doing a nice job to break apart the triangle that was so strong in holding back Sarah Love, but then opened up that little bit of space. Sarah Love taking advantage. Now completing a scoring pass.
Swanson yet to complete her initial pass. There she goes. Swanson is out. Pack regroups in turn 1. Sarah Love bounces off a couple of arch rival blockers, calls the jam. They pick up 3 points. 3-0, a total of 7 for Victoria. And now we have a 2-point game. 14-17 remaining in the first half. Arch rival leading by 28-26.
Of those 26 points, 19 of them scored by Sarah Love so far for VRDL. Timeout called by the officials, it appears. We have an official timeout. So during this official timeout, something we can tell you about is that there's going to be even more roller derby happening here in Montreal, Biff, in November. The first time the international WFTDA championships will be hosted outside the United States. They will be here in Montreal, Quebec, not at this venue. They'll be at Centre Claude Robillard, the venue for championships. Tickets are going to go on sale on Monday, June 17th. There are only 3,000 tickets available for that venue here in Montreal, and don't miss your chance. So you're going to want to bookmark WFTDA.com/tickets when they go on sale on Monday, June 17th.
Loki Doki to jam, and apparently a power jam. Sarah Love picked up a penalty at the end of the previous jam. Arch rival on the power jam. Loki Doki picks up lead. Pack gets organized in the front straightaway. Loki Doki through the first batch of blockers, through the second. That's 4 points for arch rival. Pack regroups in turns 1 and 2. Loki Doki on the toe steps around the outside, gets bounced out by Danny Darko. Sarah Love out of the penalty box with the apex hop, gets her initial pass out of the way. Loki Doki spun to the outside by Lethal, calls the jam. 3 additional points for arch rival. A 7-0 jam. They extend their lead to 35-26. 13 minutes remaining in the first period.
Yeah, 9-point lead now for arch rival as the two teams have traded 7-0 jams in the previous 2. 13 minutes left in the half. Things just moving along at a very quick pace. We had that official timeout where they were discussing and then assessing that penalty to Sarah Love for the previous jam. And now it looks like Victoria is taking a team timeout. First team timeout of the game.
Yeah, that might. Yes, I believe that is taken by Victoria. So with the score sitting at 35-26, 12:48 left in the first period.
This event, Classique Georgia W Tush, is one of the WFTDA's official WFTDA-recognized tournaments this year. There's only a couple more left. We've got the schedule here in front of us, and going through the list, after this weekend, there's only 2 more left currently on the schedule. That's going to both be next weekend in Portland, Oregon. The Rose City Rollers hosting a hometown throwdown at the same time as Philly Roller Derby is hosting East Coast Derby Extravaganza in Feasterville.
That a good time, I'm sure, will be had by all there at ECDX. I've never been out to Portland. Someday.
I'm sure it's a good time there as well.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, if you
they may not have a pool.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if they have a pool
yeah.
at the hometown throwdown.
I mean, you can get amazing donuts in Portland. Yeah. If you go to Voodoo Donuts, you can get some. I'm sure that would meet WFTDA standards for donuts.
I feel like I know somebody involved who might be able to weigh in on that.
Yeah.
Jam underway. Jambi and a Bricktator, the jammers right now.
Jambi making most forward progress. You get some help from Danny Darko, it looks like. Bricktator going against 3 Victoria blockers at the rear of the pack. 2 separate packs moving glacially into turn 1. Jambi sent to the infield, drawn back, both jammers. Bricktator in the referee lane, and we have the pack in retrograde around turns 3 and 4. So Jambi first to emerge from that. And Jambi is met fiercely by number 15, Bolt Action. Jambi, first out, picks up the track cut, power jam to arch rival.
There was some hesitation on that, like, okay, I'm just going to skate, and nope, there comes the call.
Yep, and there we go. Bricktator out, not lead jammer. This will be a 2-minute jam, but arch rival gets the next 30 on the power jam. No, correction, Bricktator is lead.
Yeah,
4-on-2 pack advantage for arch rival. Bricktator picks up the first 4 points.
Yeah, there was the delay on the penalty to Jambi, and I think that was where the confusion was. Do we still have this available? Bricktator, though, already with 8 points now from a pair of scoring trips. Sorry, 4 points. That was
Bricktator must have been really good at Red Rover because she just went through a arm chain of Victoria blockers. And Bricktator threw again, another 4 points. 8 so far in the jam for arch rival. Penalty to Jambi is over. She toe stops around the outside. 4 points to Victoria. Bricktator through again, calls the jam. And that will be a total of 13 points. That is the highest scoring jam of the game for arch rival. And their lead extended now, 48-30. 10:24 left in the first period.
Yep. Thank you to Bobby Narco for that clarification. Just over 10 to go in this opening half. Bricktator and Sarah Love, stars on the helmets.
Sarah Love thought she had a path through the pack, but she is immediately met by a refreshed group of arch rival blockers. All sorts of wreckage in the front straightaway. Swanson, and first out is Sarah Love, lead jammer for Victoria. Swanson, star in hand, has to recycle behind number 10, Biceptual. Sarah Love on a scoring pass.
Just pinballing off of 1, 2, 3 consecutive blockers.
So a 4-0 so far in the jam for Victoria. Sarah Love, a second scoring pass. She moves with force into the tripod, breaks it up, 4 more. So an 8-0 jam now.
Bianca Sciaretta trying to keep this triangle from forming, largely successful.
In the meantime, Swanson escapes from the pack. Walker drawing back Kay Woodward. And into the pack, Swanson forces the call of the jam. 2 additional points for Victoria, and arch rival's lead is back down to single digits, 48-40. 8:37 remaining in the first period.
Oh, this is relentless so far, Biff.
Wow, just hammer and tongs in the pack. And, you have Victoria. They have a lot of experienced championship-level blockers, LaRage and Biceptual, among others. Bianca Sciaretta.
Arch rival calling a team timeout. That's going to stop the clock with 8:19 to go. Additional to talking about all things related to the 2019 International WFTDA playoffs and championships, Biff, breaking news on WFTDA.com. We've just announced this year's tournament head announcers, which means we've also opened the applications for announcers for this year's postseason. So head over to the latest news on WFTDA.com. Tell your announcer friends we want to see them putting in for this year's postseason, the Continental Cups, playoffs, and championships.
So all sorts of opportunities available if you want to announce a WFTDA tournament. And I'm sure our Head announcers will do a very fair and impartial job of selecting those.
Indeed, there's a panel of people that are a part of it. There's some other interesting initiatives also that the Talent Management Committee is talking about in this latest news. There's some more resource information, also some other things about the future of some of the selection process that I think are very interesting. And I'll maybe get into a little more detail about that later on. But in the meantime, we've got Loki Doki with the Jammer Star for arch rival.
Lauren Foote, the Jammer for Victoria. Jam is underway. Lauren Foote spins out of Kay Woodward's grasp, but Arch able to reform the box around Lauren Foote. Loki Doki locked up at the rear of the pack. Biceptual trying to break up the box of arch rival blockers. Is not quite successful at getting Lauren Foote out of the pack. Loki Doki still has to contend with 3 Victoria blockers, including Lorage, Lethal, and number 130, Jesse Henry. Pack re-amalgamates in the back straightaway at the entrance at turn 3.
And Jesse Henry with a forearm penalty, going to take his seat in the restaurant Gus penalty box for Victoria. So down to a 4-3 pack in arch rivals favored. Loki Doki being taken back through the ref lane, has to take the far straightaway a second time. Trying to drive a wedge between Lorage and Biceptual. Seeing Lauren Foote going down.
And
with a low block. A low blocking penalty being issued to Lauren Foote. This is a power jam for Loki Doki. Loki Doki also just awarded lead jammer status in the driver's seat on this power jam.
So Arch 4-on-3 pack advantage as the power jam starts. Loki Doki toe stops around the inside of number 10 Biceptual. And reinforcements arrive from the penalty box for Victoria. Loki Doki, a second scoring pass now. And Victoria locking down. The jam is called. 2 additional points for arch rival. No points for Victoria. A 6-0 jam. Arch rival now leading by 54-40.
Yeah, 14-point lead. That's going to be the largest lead of the game, I believe, here for arch rival. Just under 6 minutes left in the half.
Jedi Nightingale, the jammer for Arch, and the jammer for Victoria. Anna Pavuova is lead. So Jedi Nightingale trying to lightsaber her way out of the front of the pack. And Anna Pavuova recycled to the infield. Recycled behind Shira Powers, who picked up a penalty for her trouble.
Lux Furious currently anchoring this tripod for arch rival. Starts to come apart as Pavey going down in the center of it. Completes the scoring trip. Apex hop coming from Jedi Nightingale. That'll complete in the initial pass.
So 4 on the jam so far for Anna Pavuova. Pack speeds up. Tripod gaining speed, forcing the call of the jam. So it's only a 4-0 jam for Victoria. Margin stands now at 10 points. Arch rival 54, Victoria 44.
Just over 4 minutes left in the opening half. Having another look at the apex hop coming on that previous pass. An official review being requested by arch rival. So that'll send, that's Code Adam requesting the review, and that's going to send Simon Love into the middle as well. And we'll get some information on this review in a little bit and tell you what we can tell you about it.
Bobby Narco, our esteemed producer, off to check things out. Well, I would say this is living up to the billing of number 2 versus number 4 to this point.
Yeah, this is one of the tightest games that I've seen in some time, Biff. We've got potential for some more tight games as this weekend goes on. Coming up later today, the next game at 4 o'clock Eastern Time.
That is Helsinki versus Montreal.
Thank you. I was looking at the wrong sheet.
So we'll get to see lots of green on the track.
Indeed. 6 o'clock Eastern. It'll be a B team battle between the Wall Street Traders from Gotham taking on the arch rival, arch nemesis. That'll be at 6 p.m. local time. And then ending the evening with another B team matchup between Helsinki and the Sexpos of Montreal. That'll be at 8 o'clock local time. Bobby Narco coming back with some information.
So the bench staff has been summoned. Looks like decision is about to be rendered here.
So looks like arch rival with this official review. They were looking for an out of play call to have been made against one of the Victoria blockers. Waiting for the update. I did see a thumbs up from Simon Love.
So we've got Sarah Love to the jammer line for Victoria.
Yeah. An official review was unsuccessful, so they do not retain
Tater, the jammer for arch rival. Sarah Love quickly through, lead for Victoria. Brick Tater bounced to the inside by Danny Darko. Brick Tater going face-to-face with LaRage. She'll get an assist there from Bolt Action. Sarah Love into the pack on a scoring pass, through for 4 points, calls the jam. So, Victoria taking a small bite out of that lead. It seems points are going to be very hard earned for the remainder of this game.
Yeah, currently a 6-point advantage for arch rival. 54-48, less than 4 minutes to go in the half. Trying to get an eye on the jammers.
Jambi against Swanson. And Jambi out, lead jammer for Victoria. Swanson spins around biceptual, escapes the pack. A full Restaurant Gus penalty box of Victoria blockers, but that's no deterrent for Jambi. She picks up 4 points, calls the jam, and we have a 2-point game. 3 minutes remaining in the first period. (12-0) run for Victoria.
Yep, 3 consecutive 4-0 jams that they have put up.
Loki Doki, the jammer for arch rival. Anna Pavey over the jammer for Victoria. Jam is underway. And Loki Doki works the toe stops, escapes the pack, is lead for arch rival. Slamazon couldn't keep her in the pack. Anna Pavuova sets off in hot pursuit. Victoria hitting the gas pedal now in the pack. Loki Doki approaches the tripod. Goes to the outside, spins to the inside, calls the jam. 2 points for Arch, no points for Victoria.
So back to a 4-point lead for the team from St. Louis. 56-52, just under 2 minutes left in the half.
So less than 2 minutes. Maybe the last jam of the half, we don't know. There's quite a bit of time left.
It has been a 22-8 run for VRDL, though, over the previous 6 jams.
Sarah Love, the jammer, against Jedi Nightingale.
Recycle happening from arch rival Shira Powers. taking Sarah Love back behind the jammer line, re-enters, almost through on the outside was Jedi Nightingale, but is now taken back through the ref lane as well.
This might be the most difficulty Sarah Love has had getting through the pack in a while. But arch rival locking down. Sarah Love finds a path, is lead for Victoria.
Yeah, the blocking formation just fell apart a little bit there for arch rival, and that opened up the inside line. No hesitation from Sarah Love to take it.
Jedi Nightingale around Jesse Henry, completes the initial pass. Sarah Love on a scoring pass. LaRage tries to escort her through, is unsuccessful. Sarah Love out for 4 points. So as things stand, a tie game between Victoria and arch rival. Jedi Nightingale forced to the outside. Sarah Love, a second scoring pass now.
Lux Furious locking things down. Four wall here at the front for arch rival. Lethal almost coming up to try to break it apart, but then as Lorridge taking a seat in the Restaurant Gus penalty box, that's going to send Lethal back to continue to run defense against Jedi Nightingale, just looking gassed from this effort. This has been a tremendous blocking group here from VRDL.
Vicious Van Gogo with the block out and draw back on Sarah Love.
Just on jam time now. So you were correct with your prediction, Biff, that this could have been the final jam of the half. It was indeed. And it's going to end with not quite a lead change.
Yeah.
7 points picked up by VRDL,
Oh.
4 points by arch rival, but an official review has been requested by Victoria.
So score stands at 60-59 pending the outcome of this official review.
Well, they are going to release the skaters to the locker rooms. Certainly there's not going to be any more derby to be played for the half. So with that in mind, we're going to see if we can get the report on this official review when we come out of halftime. But before that,
Okay, we got a little sponsor read here. The New England Roller Derby Report would like to thank their production sponsor, Sociopath. Sociopath is a skater-run business offering custom sewn-to-order legwear for teams and individuals, size-inclusive activewear designed to fit you. Sociopath also offers dozens of armband and helmet cover options for scrimmage and competition. Team discounts are available. Please see sociopath.ca for more details. Okay, we are back. We are 2 minutes away from starting the second period of the game between the Victorian Roller Derby League All-Stars and the arch rival All-Stars number 2, playing number 4 in the world. And you have two teams at the very top of the rankings. Of course, it is only a 1-point game. Arch rival leading by a score of 60-59. Mr. Whistler, what can you tell us about the stats in the first half?
Well, let's see if we can put this into words, because I think we're both a little bit speechless after that opening half. Definitely a big story here, and we try not to make it the narrative, but there's definitely a disparity in the number of penalties being picked up by the two teams. 24 penalties accrued so far by Victoria, only 9 by arch rival. Arch rival without a single jammer penalty, 5 have been issued to Victoria, yet it's only a 1-point game. Looking at some of the scoring runs, we did have a big pushback in the late going of the first half by Victoria, where we saw 4 scoreless jams by arch rival. They still managed to hold on to the lead. Arch rival has not trailed in this game. We had a brief tie around jam number 5, where the teams were deadlocked at a dozen apiece. But arch rival has not trailed in this game at all, Biff.
So arch rival to this point built the lead, absorbed some body blows here from Victoria, and we will see. We're about ready to get period number 2 underway.
We did have an official review at the end of the first half that had been called by Victoria. They were looking for an illegal re-entry against an arch rival blocker, and it appears that they may have actually been successful, because we are seeing Vicious Van Gogh starting the half in the Restaurant Gus penalty box with the pivot stripe. So
Jambi with the jammer star for Victoria against Bricktator. Bricktator has made the most forward progress, going against all 4 Victoria blockers. Arch doing a pretty good job drawing Jambi back in the pack.
Lethal being issued a forearm penalty. Same time as Vicious Van Gogh re-entering play for arch rival. I was going to see if we can spring Bricktator. Bricktator going for the opening on the inside line. Lorage shutting the door.
Kind of a smart move there by Vicious Van Gogh, seeing that the other 3 arch blockers were occupying the Victoria jammer. She went and played offense, and it has paid off for Bricktator. Bricktator is lead jammer for Arch.
Only about a quarter lap lead on Jambi, who also breaks through shortly thereafter. Victoria picking up the pace, hitting the turns 1 to 2 really quickly. Slight whip for Bricktator, who then turns around, re-enters the pack butt first, and is able to pick up 3 points there for arch rival on that scoring trip.
So Arch bumping the lead out 63-59.
The caliber of the teams here this weekend, just phenomenal, Biff.
6 of the top 19 in the world meeting here in Montreal this weekend, including 3 of the top 4. Sarah Love, the jammer for Victoria. Swanson jamming for Arch, and Swanson around the outside. Lead jammer for Arch.
And only the second time in this game that arch rivals picked up lead on 2 consecutive jams.
So Sarah Love caught in a pink and white case of blockers assembled by arch rival. Swanson also finding some tough sledding in the pack on a scoring pass, though. Biceptual and Bianca Sciaretta teaming up on Bricktator Swanson. I saw 85, I thought Bricktator. So
there's
Sarah
lots
Love,
of numbers.
Yeah, it's a number salad.
Yeah, Bianca Sciaretta being sent to the Restaurant Gus penalty box for direction and gameplay penalty.
So Swanson goes back into battle with Walker and Lethal.
Biceptual, the forearm penalty. So penalty parade continuing for VRDL in the early going here. But it takes some significant time for these points to come in. Almost a minute and a half to get the first points of the jam in.
So Victoria shedding their pivot, and that allows Swanson to rack up 8 points.
Yeah,
and
down
as
to
things,
Walker as the only blocker on the track.
The penalty of Bianca Sharetta has expired. Sarah Love still working on the rear of the pack. Swanson, 12 points now for arch rival on another scoring pass. She hops around the outside, picks up another 4, calls the jam a 16-0 jam for arch rival, and they now lead by 20 points. That is their biggest lead of the game.
Yeah, highest scoring jam of the game also for arch rival with those 16 points. 2 jams have eaten up 4 full minutes and counting on the period clock here in the second half.
So that will be Loki Doki jamming for arch rival against Anna Pavuova. Anna Pavuova can't quite find a path around. Lux Furious has to recycle. But Anna Pavuova, a little toe stop through the apex, and she is through and lead jammer for Victoria. So Victoria may be trying to recapture momentum here after the big jam by arch rival.
I saw a wheel come off, and I haven't figured out yet who's missing a wheel. Someone now is out there on 7.
So Anna Pavuova picks up 4. Loki Doki yet to complete her initial pass. She's dealing with number 4. That is Slamazon, among others. Biceptual rejoins the action at the front of the pack. Vicious Van Gogo sent out for a penalty, and she has lost a wheel.
Yeah, it was her wheel. So she collects it on her way to the penalty box. It was one off the front truck.
Anna Pavuova on 8 points. The apex skip picks up another 4. So Victoria responding with a double-digit jam of their own, and the lead is back to 8 points for arch rival.
Yeah, the dozen points from Victoria tying their high water mark for a jam in the game. Officials taking a timeout. It's going to stop the clock at 24:03.
Well, these teams, second half have been apparently willing to run the jam a little bit.
And I'm just going to point something out here. Part of this timeout, I think, has been Vicious Van Gogo working on the skate situation that she's having where one of her wheels had come off, and was actually borrowing skate tools from the Victoria bench. So some sportspersonship there coming from Simon Love, sharing a skate tool to help get Vicious Van Gogo back on track for arch rival.
So, pack massed around the unsponsored pivot line. Jambi jamming against Bricktator. Jambi getting some help from Davey Darko, still not out of the pack. Bricktator recycled to the rear once again. And Jambi, a little apex skip, picks up lead for Victoria.
Yeah, it was bolt action with the swing and the miss. Bricktator now coming around the outside, star in hand, going to put it back on the helmet. Forearm penalty being issued to 1900 Cloak and Dragger. Lots of things happening all the time, Biff.
Good hustle there by Bricktator to force the call off. And that jam was scoreless. Score remains 79-71, 23-10 remaining in the bout.
No, I'm not making any predictions.
Swanson jamming against Lauren Foote. Foote finds the tripod of arch blockers. She'll get an assist from Walker. Blockers advancing slowly to turn 1. Lauren Foote struggling mightily against the front of the arch rival pack.
Some tenacious support here from Smarty McFly, who keeps coming back into the front to brace, gets peeled off, returns, peeled off, returns.
Cloak and Dagger tried to pry that tripod, Victoria tripod, loose. And Cloak and Dragger helping push the blocker sled at the front. Swanson.
Forearm penalty, going to take Walker off the track, and that opens up a little bit of space. Swanson picking up lead for arch rival. Lauren Foote now working on the straightaway. Does have some of these earned passes, but not all of them.
Wow, trying to drag the arch rival pack, and they are fiercely resisting that. Swanson on a scoring pass, gets an assist from number 121. That is Smarty McFly. Trying to pry apart the Victoria blockers. Lauren Foote, star in hand, has to recycle to the rear. She's met by Shira Powers and Cloak and Dragger. A direction to gameplay penalty assessed to number 1057, Shira Powers.
Foote now with star in hand as the jam runs out. All that over 4 points, Biff. 83 for arch rival, 71 for Victoria. 20 and a half minutes left in the second half.
I'm not sure the pack made it all the way around the track there, but wow, that was a struggle. But at this point, the clock is arch rival's friend. You know, they can burn 2 minutes, keep Victoria off the scoreboard and pick up a few points and preserve their lead. They'll take it. Loki Doki jamming against Sarah Love. Sarah Love rapidly to the front of the pack. She's met hard by Kay Woodward. Bounces back up.
It's actually Anna
Pavuova
with
the
star.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, they did. Victoria did once again put out 2 jammers right before the whistle went. And that's why that strategy is for, Biff, is to fool the announcers. Actually.
Yes, confuse the heck out of us. In the meantime, Jammer Star has been passed by arch rival to number 15. That is Bolt Action.
First star pass of the game, I believe, on either side. Both teams have been very persistent in holding on to the star, actually.
Despite the jammers being locked up in the pack. So Bolt Action has to regroup. She's been drawn back by Laura Age. And number 23, Thestral, with the drawback on Anna Pavuova. Anna Pavuova with the lead and 4 points in hand. And she is met by a pyramid of St. Louis of arch rival blockers at the rear. Thestral joining up with the rest of the arch rival pack to work on Anna Pavuova. And only 15 seconds left in the jam. Bolt Action spins around LaRage and out of the pack. Can she preserve the 4-0 jam force arch? Anna Pavuova through again, picks up another 4. So 8-0 jam for Victoria. And our score stands 83-79. 4-point game. Another full 2-minute jam. And with 8 points for Victoria, we have a 4-point game. 18 minutes remaining in the game. Jedi Nightingale jamming against Jambi, and Jambi is through and lead for Victoria.
Yeah, 4 out of the last 5. And we were also seeing, Biff, in the opening half, 11-7 where the lead jammer status is in the first half in Victoria's favor. Big apex hop there from Jedi Nightingale.
But jammers trading points. Jambi has to recycle to the infield. Jedi Nightingale tries to duck around Slamazon and is unsuccessful. 3 points now on that pass for Jambi. Jambi through, around. Another 4. And Jambi calls the jam. Jedi Nightingale. We have a lead change. 15 points in the jam for Victoria. They now lead 94-91. That despite arch rival picking up 8.
Yeah, those 15 points, the most in one jam for Victoria in this game. Previously it had been a dozen, which they'd achieved on 2 occasions. But going with a 7-point advantage in that jam, they now lead by 3. Time is called, 16:28, the clock frozen. It's an official timeout.
Victoria with their first lead of the game. As closely fought as this bout has been, it's a surprise there hasn't been more lead changes.
No, there's been a lot of neck and neck in this tenuous 3-point lead. Have to see what happens next. I don't know what's going to happen next.
That's why we're here. That's why we're playing it.
This is why we're here. And we are going to see, I thought I saw a happy hand signal from the arch rival side of things. Jambi has been sent to the Restaurant Gus penalty box. So there was something that the officials saw in the previous jam.
Signaling a track cut. So, a break now for arch rival.
Arch rivals setting up their start strategy. They're going to put Kay Woodward up at the front.
Well, Arch is down a couple of blockers. Bricktator will wear the jammer star. Jambi in the penalty box with a track cut. So Bricktator.
Yeah, Victoria taking the tack that they often do on the kill, which is just get up to the front and try to maintain the pace. But now Bricktator has caught up, getting some offensive help, not enough. Bianca Sciaretta pulling the blockers away.
But Victoria with a very effective penalty kill to this point. Bricktator has lead. And the penalty to Jambi, a second penalty, a forearm penalty to Jambi. And we are going to see another power jam for arch rival.
Yeah, Jambi was on the verge of completing that initial pass, but did so in an illegal manner using a forearm, and that's where we are now, folks.
So, Bricktator, lead jammer on a scoring pass and on the power jam for arch rival. Victoria controlling the tempo of the pack. Kay Woodward running a convoy. Bricktator, discretion being the better part of valor, calling the jam, is only able to collect 1 point on a double power jam. So the score is now Victoria 94, arch rival 92.
But on that call off, was able to freeze Jambi in the box, who is standing. So a very brief power start going to come here for Swanson. Swanson with the star on the jammer line for arch rival. Less than 15 minutes to go.
So, pack gathered around the pivot line. Swanson the jammer. Jambi's penalty time has expired. Both jammers locked up with the blockers in turns 1 and 2. Swanson struggling mightily against Walker. Swanson forced to the infield by Bianca Sciaretta.
But not driven back too far. Is able to just re-enter just into turn 1.
Jambi recycled once again. This is her third jam in a row on the track.
Forearm penalty going to send Slamazon off the track. So 1 to beat now for Swanson.
And Swanson is lead. Took over a minute to establish lead status, but Arch with lead. Swanson on a scoring pass. Advances with force into the tripod of Victoria blockers.
Big peel off there from Kay Woodward on Bianca Sciaretta. They've now got trapped at the back. Swanson manages to get through. Calls from the infield after the pass. Another lead change, Biff. A 2-point advantage now for arch rival, 96 to 94,
Wow.
13 to go.
So, 13 minutes remaining. Points very much at a premium. Another 4-point jam that lasted almost 2 full minutes. Loki Doki jamming against Sarah Love. Pack wedged around the jammer line to start. Loki Doki making the most forward progress. She comes face to face with LaRage. A penalty, a low block to the jammer. Oh, misconduct penalty to the Victoria jammer.
Yeah.
And out of the pack and lead is Loki Doki on the power jam for arch rival.
Yeah, contact with the down skater under the misconduct metric. Yeah, 3 straight lead jammer statuses being awarded to arch rival. And that's 3 out of the last 4 jams. There's been a jammer penalty to Victoria.
So Loki Doki with lead on a scoring pass on the power jam, picks up 4 more points for arch rival.
That'll take him to triple digits. 6-point lead. Initial pass completed by Sarah Love, now getting the star back on the helmet. Loki Doki toe stopping around the outside, looking for bench instruction. Keeps it running though. Both jammers scoring, so 4 points apiece on that pass. Still a 4-point advantage overall in the jam for Loki Doki.
Sarah Love forced into the ref lane. She'll have to retreat. Victoria has done the same. Sarah Love lost the jammer star.
There's a dozen seconds left on the jammer clock right now. Loki Doki's going to call it. There were 2 points in the pocket there for Sarah Love, and another pair left available for Loki Doki. So a 4-point advantage on the jam. It's 106 to 100. Arch rival continues to lead. 10.5 to go.
Arch rival clinging to the lead. 6 points. And a clock stoppage, an official timeout.
I would be remiss if we didn't mention that Arch rival did ask us to give a shout out to the St. Louis Blues for their victory in the Stanley Cup final earlier this week. Riding that momentum, and I dare say setting their own momentum here in this game.
I would say that was a very popular victory by the St. Louis Blues.
It was a long time coming.
Yeah.
Some noise here at Arena St. Louis. 10.5 to go, 6 points separating these two teams.
So the official stoppage have gotten some things sorted out. And it appears that we've lost LaRage for the remainder of the game.
Yeah, there's been a swap out in the Restaurant Gus penalty box. LaRage did have 6 penalties in the opening half.
Bricktator, the jammer for arch rival against Anna Pavyuova. As action resumes, Bricktator emerges from the pack, lead jammer for arch rival.
Anna Pavyuova just has to get around Vicious Van Gogh and does, but half a lap behind. Bricktator coming in hard, zigging and zagging, picking up a whole bunch of points on that trip, and that was all 4. No points, last-ditch effort there from Anna Pavyuova. Almost stole a couple in there.
Oh, yeah, very close, but be interesting to see how the rest of this game goes in the pack for Victoria. LaRage is a pretty key blocker for them. So Jambi against Swanson. And Jambi finding a path through and lead for Victoria. We're under 10 minutes to go in the game. Arch leading by a score of 110 to 100. Jambi with lead. Swanson still stuck at the front of the pack. Jambi on a scoring pass. Victoria shedding a blocker for a forearm penalty.
Now Jesse Henry, number 130, taking that seat in the Restaurant Gus penalty box.
Jambi calling the jam at about the last possible second, still able to pick up 4 points for Victoria.
I know it's been asked in the comments on the stream from the people watching. Simone is asking what the penalty breakdown is at this stage in the game, and I'm sorry to say we don't have the full penalty breakdown. I can say it was pretty much it was a little bit stronger than a 2-to-1 ratio coming out of the first half. 24 penalties for Victoria in the first half, 9 in the second. Momentum has been similar. We've had a total of 8 jammer penalties for Victoria in the game. That I can tell you. We have yet to have a jammer penalty issued to arch rival in this game.
Loki Doki jamming against Anna Pavyuova. And Anna Pavyuova finds a path through in his lead. Loki Doki setting off in hot pursuit. And we lose Shira Powers to the Restaurant Gus penalty box. Anna Pavyuova enters on a scoring pass. Picks up 4, continues the jam with Loki Doki locked up in the pack.
Pavy going for the lead change here on this pass.
And she absorbs a big hit from Lux Furious.
And actually, Anna Pavyuova being sent to the box. And couldn't see the hand signal from the officials. I did see it from skaters on the track, though, who are looking for a misconduct.
Oh, wow.
There was some contact there with the down skater.
So Loki Doki on a scoring pass on the power jam for arch rival.
Power jam over. Anna Pavyuova re-entering the play. Lux Furious and Vicious Van Gogh anchoring at the front. Recycle happening now. Anna Pavyuova trying to re-enter again. There's the first jammer penalty of the game to arch rival, going to number 14, Loki Doki. 6.5 to go. Lead change in the offing.
Depending on what if anything, Loki Doki scored there. Loki Pokey picks up 3. And arch rival clinging by the skin of their teeth to the lead, 113 to 112. Victoria picking up 8 on that jam to 3 for arch rival.
Holy cats, Biff. We have ourselves a 1-point game. 6:20 is where the clock has been stopped. Yeah, arch rival calling a timeout. Good opportunity just to do a bit of a reset here. Determine what their start strategy is going to be. They haven't had to start a jam without a jammer yet in this game. So good opportunity to revisit how we do that. But just neck and neck, as you said earlier, Biff, in this game between these two teams. And I know there's only 2 ranking positions separating them currently in the WFTDA rankings, but you know, in some of these higher ranked teams, I would still expect to see something a little less neck and neck here. Maybe bigger swings. The swings have been few and far between.
Right. I mean, it's been the bulk of the bout has been within 10 points.
Yeah, the greatest lead in this game was second jam of this half, a 20-point lead for arch rival. So currently lead by 1.
And Sarah Love with the jammer star for Victoria and on the power jam. Sarah Love getting worked over by Kay Woodward and bolt action. Still no lead. And the power jam is over. The penalty to Loki Doki has expired. Loki Doki enters the pack.
Victoria switching to defense here, leaving Sarah Love up at the front, but they are just going to do everything they can to hold Loki Doki back. Sarah Love, strong effort, gets around bolt action, picks up lead. Took 47 seconds for that to be awarded.
So Loki Doki forced into the ref lane by Bianca Sciaretta and recycled. Sarah Love picks up 4, calls the jam, and we have another lead change. Victoria, 116, arch rival, 113. 5:07 remaining in the bout.
All of a sudden, we've had 6 lead changes, thanks Bobby Narco, who's keeping track of some of this information for us.
And if you're surreptitiously watching this at work, I hope the bar cart has come around by now, as sometimes happens at my job. But Jambi with the jammer star. First out. Picks up a track cut, another jammer penalty to Victoria. Bricktator the jammer for arch rival.
Yes.
A power jam for arch rival with 4:30 remaining in the game.
5th jammer penalty of the half for Victoria. 3rd of them being picked up by, this is the 3rd of those being picked up by Jambi.
So Victoria accelerating the pack, trying to make life difficult for Bricktator, trying to kill the penalty. Bricktator trying to split apart the last 2 Victoria blockers.
Bianca Sciaretta calling Walker up into the fray, and now Bricktator taken down, dragged back.
Jambi out of the penalty box. And on a scoring pass now for Victoria.
No lead jammer, this one going the full deuce.
And Jambi is on the scoring pass. Bricktator has not yet completed an initial. And Jambi is through for 4 points. Bricktator picks up a back block. A back block penalty to arch rival. That'll put Victoria on the power jam. Jambi with at least 4 points in hand and on the power jam for Victoria. Victoria's lead stands at 7. And the jam will time out. 2 more points for Victoria, a 6-point jam.
And very quickly, arch rival requesting an official review. Waiting for the bench coaches to come into the middle. But good gravy, 12-0 jam for Victoria. They lead by 15 points, Biff. 2:42 to go.
This is their biggest lead of the game, and it comes less than 3 minutes remaining. So we'll see what this official review is all about.
Couple of things it could be about, of course. Could be wanting to review the back block on Brictator. That's certainly the most obvious. Make sure you don't have to start your next jam with a jammer in the box. That did happen fairly late in the jam as well.
And it's at least, and there would be at least 10 seconds remaining, judging from the fact that Brictator is seated in the penalty box.
There's been an adjustment on the scoreboard, actually, so it's being revised down to a 6-point pickup by Victoria. So it's 122 to 113 shown on the scoreboard, so a 9-point lead. And honestly, that's what I was anticipating.
Yeah, that 12 seemed a little high. I thought I saw the jam ref flash 2 fingers for 2 points at the end.
Well, no, if there's 6 points and you show 2 fingers, that means double it, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's
what
I would do.
Yeah,
and this is why I don't have that job. Biff.
Yeah, this is why we don't get to make the rules.
Bobby Narco is going to pass a note and let us know what's being discussed.
This is just like study hall. Lots of whispering, lots of note passing.
And sure enough, yep, arch rival is asking for that back block penalty against Brictator to be re-examined. But looks like we will be getting back underway with Brictator still seated in the Restaurant Gus penalty box.
So there is at least 10 seconds left on that penalty.
Arch rival losing that review. That'll leave them with a single clock stoppage at their disposal. They have 1 timeout left. Victoria still has 2 team timeouts and an official review at their disposal. Clock is the Victoria friend right now.
Yes, it is. And even if that official review didn't work out, that was a very wise usage of it. Anna Pavyova, the jammer for Victoria, with lead on the power jam. The arch rival, a full set of blockers to defend the penalty kill. And Anna Pavyova forced to the inside by Cloak and Dragger. Walker sent to the Restaurant Gus penalty box for Victoria. A high block. Penalty to Brictator is over.
Just a dead stop here. Lots of movement in the feet, but lots of movement above the waist here. Now is the thing starting to come apart. Anna Pavyova threading the needle, completes the pass on that trip with a 4-point pickup.
So that leaves us the score at 126 to 113 in favor of Victoria. A 4-0 jam, a minute 20 remaining.
We'll have around a minute 10, minute 5 or so left on the clock when this jam gets underway. If no one stops it, no one is stopping it. And there it is, it's being stopped. Asked and answered.
So
108.
Victoria calling the timeout. With 1:08 remaining in the game, this will likely be the final throw of the dice, depending on how things play out.
Kind of a bold move, actually, for Victoria to call it. I'm sure there's a valid reason here. I might have been tempted just to roll with it, but now if we start at a minute 8 here, there's potential for maybe a couple of quick pickups by your opponents.
that it is possible. And Arch with one timeout left to use.
And they didn't seem that close to picking it up, using it themselves.
Right. The one thing that might be interesting is I wonder if Victoria was just trying to send a message to their jammer. Say, you know what, we picked up a lot of jammer penalties. Now is not the time to do anything silly. So we shall see. It looks like Sarah Love to the jammer line.
Yeah, speaking of, there is only one jammer out for Victoria. And yes, looks like we're going to see, I believe, Swanson, number 68 for arch rival.
So Victoria's pack shifts into defense mode. Sarah Love with most forward progress. And Sarah Love is lead jammer for Victoria. Swanson, star in hand, trying to find a path out. Sarah Love into the pack on a scoring pass. She'll go against Smarty McFly, get around, and pick up 4.
Sarah Love taken over the outside line.
Swanson comes hip to hip with Bianca Sciaretta, takes a tumble.
Slam is on with the penalty pickup. Going to the Restaurant Gus penalty box, less than 10 seconds to go.
Swanson finishes an initial pass, enters the pack. And Sarah Love will call the jam. Period clock has expired. A 6-2 jam for Victoria to finish the game. And the unofficial final score, Victoria Roller Derby League All-Stars 132, arch rival 115.
Yeah, it was that whole game, Biff, like we couldn't, it was just unfathomable what we were seeing here. It's kind of reminiscent of some of these major league sports that people have been talking about lately.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that.
Some of these momentum swings late in the game. But a 17-point victory for Victoria, 132-115. They take the lead late, hold on to it after a couple of switches.
Well, arch rival did really just about everything right. They only picked up 1 jammer penalty the entire game, 2 jammer penalties, excuse me.
And those were both in the last 5 jams of the game. So timing is everything.
So I think Arch had a game plan. They executed it very well. Just couldn't quite finish the job. And this is a preview of what we might see here again in Montreal in November. Buy your tickets now.
Yeah, I mean, it might even be a bit of a preview of what else we might be seeing the rest of this weekend.
Indeed.
Let alone in November. Coming up next will be another A-team matchup. Helsinki, number 19, taking on Montreal, the hosts, the new Skids on the Block. That's coming up here next at 4 o'clock Eastern time. We'll close out today with a couple of B-team matchups. 6 o'clock Eastern, Gotham versus arch rival. 8 o'clock Helsinki versus Montreal as well.
And a great slate of derby all weekend long. And we want to say a word about our sponsors. New England Roller Derby Report would like to thank their production sponsor, Sociopath. Sociopath is a skater-run business offering custom sewn-to-order legwear for teams and individuals. Size-inclusive activewear designed to fit you. Sociopath also offers dozens of armband and helmet cover options for scrimmage and competition. Team discounts are available. Check it out at sociopath.ca for more details.